Hi guys, welcome to the channel. So it's been a couple of weeks since the last video, and then the last video I did say that things have been a little bit quiet lately in the airsoft world, except for Noveridge. Obviously we release a new gun every day, but ironically one was today, which is the ASG 96. But today we're going to look at something a little bit different. So I'll say different, not that different, but something new. So it is the brand new from ASG, the Universal Service Weapon, which is fully licensed as it is a B&T product. So this should be pretty cool. I've been looking forward to this one coming. I got it actually a little, probably be just over a week ago, I think. But unfortunately, because I've been working, it's been sat around in its box. So let's open it up and have a look exactly what you get with this, because I think it might be a nifty little sort of sniper sidearm, if you like. Okay, so here is the box, and I love this box, not because there's anything particularly special about it, but I just love red stuff. So my favourite colour, so it's always going to be a winner. So let's have a look inside. Okay, we have a manual, and inside the manual we have pictures. Yep, usual kind of thing, telling you how to load it, how the magazine release works, how to load BBs into it, or put the cartridge, CO2 cartridge in it, and how to take the slide off, all this good stuff about the hop up, and how to fold the stock, and a little list of accessories at the back there. Then we come to the main attraction. We have an Allen key to put your CO2 cartridge in. We have a magazine. We have some BBs, which I'll leave in there, and we have the main part itself, which is the pistol in a bag. And there it is. This is the Universal Service Weapon, and it's a chunky little fella, I have to say, and this is quite funky. Now the main parts of this obviously are aluminium slide. This bottom section here is also aluminium. This though, on the actual grip, feels like a sort of rubberized textured feeling to it. It's quite a big grip, and it's got a few little indentations for your fingers to sit in. That does actually feel, actually I don't think that is, I can't tell. So this is actually an aluminium lower, but the actual grip feels like it's polymer, so I'm not absolutely sure where the join is. I'm assuming it's through there. Yeah, there is a join through there, maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's pretty unusual. And we've got this completely separate piece at the back here for the stock to fit on. And what's great about this is the functioning slide doesn't affect any red dots that you might put on this little bit of Picatinny rail. And on this side we have a nice polymer stock, and the polymer feels really high quality. It's really nice, and it's actually spring loaded, so as you press it, it pops out. I'll just do that again. Got a little lever down here, you just press it and the stock actually pops out. Bring it round and it locks in position. It's a really tight, solid lock. It does not wobble one bit, not a one slight little bit does that move. So that's really nice. And we've got a nice little skeleton stock on there. To release it, you just press the button at the bottom and bring it back round. There's like a little spring mounted pin there, and that just gives it a bit of resistance before it slots back in. That is very nice. Now along with this comes the magazine. I have put a cartridge in it. Thought I was recording, I wasn't, but I have put the cartridge in it, and it's ready to go. This is a CO2 only gun, but I'll get onto that in a minute. So there we go, stick him in and complete the look. I quite like that. Let me just get rid of these stickers. That's better already. So yeah, looking pretty cool. So yes, it's a pistol, but it's a pistol with a stock on it. Okay guys, so what is the USW? So as it said, the Universal Service Weapon from B&T. Now the real steel version of this is basically a pistol caliber carbine or carbine, depending where you come from in the world. And the idea behind these is you have, say, your pistols that you use generally, you're not great with them or you're a bit inaccurate with them. The idea with these is they have the stock on there, so it mounts like a pistol. You can draw it and then you can release the stock and have a more stable shooting platform and be more accurate with it. That's the real life firearms. that I'm talking about there, not so much the airsoft version, because obviously you haven't got the same kick with an airsoft replica as you have with the real thing. But what fun would there be in airsoft if you didn't replicate these things? And that's exactly what this is. So what you're looking at is ASG's take, and it's very accurate from what I can see from the real thing of the actual universal service weapon. And this thing is pretty funky. Now, the one thing I like about this is it's got a proven base to it. So what it basically does, if I get its very close cousin, or possibly sibling. So basically, it's a very similar platform to the ASG SP01 or SP02, all that range of CZ75 pistols. And it's a very, very similar base setup, if you like. And so much so that you can actually interchange the magazine. So this is the mag out of my SP01, and it fits in there and will work and operate just the same way. And that's really cool. I like that. Now, I know I've had a moan about my SP01 in the past, and its dodgy slide release or slide mechanism. So if you shake it, it'll go off. I have modified it a couple of times, but it does play up still. But this is less likely to be a problem from what I've seen, because I have had a look at it, and it looks a much better mechanism. So far, so good. It feels really chunky. It feels really solid. I love the rubberized grip. It feels nice to hold, especially those little indentations on it. And the way the actual stock works is fantastic. It just flips around and away you go. It's ready to use. So yeah, I mean, compared to the real life version, you're not gaining a lot by having a stock. But at the same time, in close quarters, in CQB environments, if you're using this as a sniper sidearm, it's perfect. It's small, it's compact, and it's easy to handle, and it gives you a good solid platform. So far so good. I really like that. Now, the other plus point with this is, like I said before, the Picatinny rail. So as the slide operates, it doesn't affect this. So you can put a red dot on there and not worry about it getting battered to death by the slide going backwards and forwards. So if you see a lot of sort of the micro red dots that you get on some of the pistols, and they're mounted to the top slide, obviously it's shooting backwards and forwards, you can lose zero, or you can just knock them to hell basically. Whereas this, you're not going to have a problem with it because it's nice and stable on there. As well as that, you've got the Picatinny on the underside of the actual pistol, so you can mount your torches or flashlights as much as you like on there. And we've also got a 14mm counterclockwise thread for a suppressor. So, as I said before, these are CO2 powered, and that's a good thing because it means even in the cold weather, you're going to be able to use this. You'll at least have a better chance of using it than you would with green gas. Now, a lot of places get upset about CO2 and say that it's overpowered, or you're going to have problems chroning it. I've never had this problem with ASG. ASG CO2 pistols, I've always found, are absolutely bang on where you want them, which is between sort of 330 and 340. So I've never had a problem with an ASG pistol being overpowered on CO2, and that's yeah, fair play to them. I'm pretty impressed. I do like ASG products, to be honest. I think they're really good. So to actually load one of these in, all you do is you take the slide off the bottom there, careful not to lose any parts, pull it back, you undo this base with your hex drive or your Allen key. You put your capsule in and you just screw it back on until it's tight, and you hear it go hiss, put the bottom on, and away you go. Now, this is pretty solid. There's not much of a wobble in there. Some of the older the SP01s, they could wobble around a bit, but yeah, no problems here. Nice curved feed lips, really nice quality, with the dimples inside to stop any double feeding or silliness. And then just chuck a couple of BBs in here. And I'll drop a load on the floor just for good measure to go with the other 1,000 that are already on the floor. Put it in. And away we go. Oh, look at that. Look what I was doing then. Yeah, that's not going to work. You'll notice there are two flared points at the front of the slide. And that is because when you're doing this and you're not getting anywhere, it's to allow you to cock it. And away you go. Now remember, always wear your glasses or the man will come and get you. So Here we go, we've got a safety on the side there. Stop any firing, that's always good. Safety off. And it locks back. Really nice, solid kick, feels really positive. Very light slide actually. When you actually pull it back, it feels really good. Snaps forwards, really nice fit, no wobbles, no movement, only a very small amount. It feels very smooth, really nice quality. And the trigger brake, it's pretty long, but the reset's quick. So if we try that again, let's release it. Yeah, they say reset's actually very short. That's not bad at all. That's nothing to complain about. So let it go. Try it again. It's a reasonably long pull, but then the reset's very quick. So once you've got it going, shouldn't be an issue. We'll try it. We'll hold down the release. Yeah, gone past. Yep, that's cool. No problem at all. And of course, if you want to cover it in accessories, well, you can do that as well. And now we've got a bit of bling on there with a suppressor and a flashlight and a little red dot. It's obviously at least 50% more accurate because of all those things on there. So yeah, that is much better now, obviously. Now, in reality, let's be honest, does this suppressor make any difference? Well, no, it's not going to make any difference. Let's try it though anyway. So now we take it off. No, it's really not made any difference. Plus that's a rubbish suppressor anyway, so the foam will get in the way and cause your BBs to go all over the place. But one thing I will say is when this little dude is on here and you fold your little stock, it does get in the way. So I can't actually fold the stock at the moment because it hits the side of the flashlight, which is a shame actually. I'm sure there's flashlights out there that won't cause that. In fact, I think it's more to do with this little screw there. So maybe if you put a countersunk screw in, or yeah, I think that's all you could do, a screw with a slightly smaller head, maybe that would actually slot back in okay. But yeah, just be aware of that. It won't go in as it is. It'll snap out again. And on that subject, you have to be careful because these are nylon, so you've got a catch on here and this catch moves forwards and backwards, and you've got a little hook that's sat on there. So when it goes in, it just pops together and snaps into place. So you don't really want to be forcing it with a flashlight on the front. So yeah, you might want to just consider whether you really want to put a flashlight on there, and if you do, you may just have to modify the little bolt, or if you've got a slimline flashlight, this one is quite tubby, then it may not be so bad. You'll probably find a better solution than I've got for it at the moment. But the red dot, now that's something else. That really is a benefit to this, and this is what this thing's all about really. It's not an SMG. So you look at something like your, I don't know, your MP9s or your MP7s, or even the PP2K, which came out recently, which we will be reviewing as soon as it gets here. This is not in the same category as those weapons. They are essentially submachine guns, primaries that can be sort of carried as a secondary if you really want to. This very much is a secondary sidearm. So if you can forget a holster to fit it, which is another thing altogether, apparently I've heard that the real steel holster, well, this will fit in the real steel holster, but I can't verify that because I've not seen it myself. I only heard it, and also they're quite expensive, so that may not be practical for most people. But I will be looking into ways of actually holstering this. If you can get it holstered, then it makes a cracking little sidearm, especially if you're sniping. Is it going to be much better than a normal pistol? So if I go out and play airsoft in the sniper role and I take this, is this going to be a lot more accurate than, say, this? In reality, isolated, not really, but then this has got the red dot on there, which does make the difference. So if you're using this with the red dot and you can get it zeroed in, it's going to make a huge difference, and you're going to find yourself actually this suddenly comes into its own. And it is really handy, especially around corridors and around doorways, things like that. And you sort of get it in your shoulder, and it gives you does give you a stable platform, and it gives you something to actually look down the barrel and see where you're firing. When you bring up your pistol, you've got to either take pot shots or actually get your sights lined up quickly. You cannot get your sights lined up as quickly as you can with a red dot, and that's where this thing comes into its own. This is where this really makes a difference. Forget the torch, forget the suppressor, it doesn't matter. It's all about having that stable red dot on there, and I think this is where this thing really comes into its own, because it's doing something that nobody else really does, to be honest. It's doing something that's in its own league, and I think it does it in a really cool, slick little package. And it feels really high quality. It feels like a premium product, and it looks fantastic. Oh, you know, we got to be careful. Don't do anything wrong. So to strip this thing down, it's dead easy. It's pretty much the same as the other CZ style pistols, although this isn't a CZ, I know. But so you line up the 2 points at the back here. You'll see just there. You just pull the pin out, and off comes the top slide. And there you go. There is the inside. Now I hear you scream, where's the hop up adjustment? And it's right here. It is that screw that is there. And that's what you turn to adjust your hop up. So this is one of those replicas that you will be adjusting and then using. You will not be messing around with it on the fly much, because it's going to be a huge pain in the butt. So this is the kind of replica you want to get set up before you go out onto the field and start using it, because it's going to be a pain in the butt to do it when you're out there, because you're going to get this full of mud or filth or something that you don't want in there that's going to mess it up. So yeah, go out to the field, take a few test shots, or if your field's got a range, or even in the garden, go out, set your hop, and then go to game, and try not to mess with it too much, because it's going to be annoying. So one thing to say about these is it is a floating barrel, so the actual chain drops down as you pull the slide back, which means the inner barrel will move around when you're firing, the outer barrel more so, but the inner barrel does move around. It is floating, so that is always a compromise with any of the gas pistols. There aren't many that don't do that, other than things like Tokyo Marine Mark 23s or Novridge's Mark 18 or whatever he's called it, the G18 Glock. That's got a solid barrel, so sometimes when they're moving, but that's not unusual. That's typical of pretty much most gas blowback pistols, and it doesn't really cause much of a problem, because you're not trying to reach out, you know, to long ranges with these. That's not what they're about. This is about being a sidearm. So yeah, I really like this thing. I've got to be honest, I'm really impressed with it. I really like the feel of it, and I love the little Diddy stock on there. Like I say, might have to have a skinnier light on there to make the stock still operate, but we can cope with that. Just be aware of it. If you're going to get one of these and you want to put a flashlight on the front, just be aware you're probably going to have to try and get a more compact one than that one. So once it snaps around, that holds in place really nice. Press your button, away it goes. And the operation of that is just really pleasant. It's really good. So good job, ASG. You've done a cracking job on that. Now, I have been out shooting this in the garden. I haven't filmed it because the weather is foul outside. And I'll be honest, doing the target shooting at 20 meters, it doesn't take a lot to really mess it up. There's so many contributing factors, such as the weather, the wind, everything, you know, wind's weather, I suppose, but all these different bits and pieces, it does make a difference. So I'm not bothering with a target shooting. One, you wouldn't be able to see it because it's dark, and two, it won't tell you a lot. But for what I have seen from this is it was firing 0.3 gram BBs in a nice straight line. I've probably got 3/4 hop on there out of the total amount available, and it's throwing the 0.32s down range. I would probably say it would be better with 0.28. I didn't have any to hand at the time, unfortunately, but I'd say that that would be the probably a better weight ammo for it. But yeah, it did throw the 0.32s. Now I'm not sure about replacement hop-ups and things like that for upgrade. I'm not sure what's in there yet. I haven't had a chance to sort of rip it apart and have a real delve into it to see what we can do. But from the outset, I really like this. No, it's not an SMG. No, it doesn't do full auto. It is single shot only. It's a short barrel, but it works. It's really nice and I really like it. Would I recommend anyone buy this for a little bit of a different sidearm, something a bit more unusual? 100% yes. This is a great gun. I really, really, really like it. I've not played it yet. I've not taken it out on skirmish, and I don't think well anytime soon, since as we're all in lockdown again. But yeah, 100% impressed. And if you already own one of these or anything like it, one of the CZs, then your quid's in because you've already got the mag. It would be great to see a line of accessories to this. So if they do longer mags, it'd be fantastic, like a 50 round mag or whatever they come in to mimic the real deal, and maybe a specific flashlight for it. I think that would be nice. I think that's I'll be surprised if these don't sell like hotcakes, because they're a bit different, they're a bit unusual, and once people have used them, they'll realise they're actually really good. So yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with this. The only downside to it is the holstering, is being able to carry it, and I really hope that somebody makes an airsoft holster for it, because the real steel ones are pretty pricey, and when you start buying different holsters for different sidearms, it can get a bit expensive. So yeah, so far so good. Well done, ASG. So guys, that was the fully licensed ASG universal service weapon, and it's fully licensed by B&T. So go out there, give it a shot if you fancy it. If you want something a bit funkier, something a bit different, by all means go out there and be confident that you can get something decent. Really good job, ASG. I'm well impressed with this. It's a solid, really good feeling, chunky little fella to take out on the field. So yeah, I really like this. Really like it. It's a good job. Yeah. Okay, so using 0.2 gram BBs. Oh, we're going low. To be honest, I have fired quite a few shots through that. So that is not a fresh CO2 cartridge. So that is pretty much at the end of its life. So when I did crone it first time around, it was 330 FPS. But yeah, so on a spent cartridge, you're still getting 270 FPS, which is pretty good actually. And that's gone through probably about three mags worth of BBs there, maybe two. Yeah, about two mags worth of BB, so not bad at all really. And if you're carrying a few mags, you're going to be well set. So that's it guys, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully we've got the PP2K coming up soon, which I'm really looking forward to, because that's going to be a great one. At least I hope it is, from Modify. There have been a load of Tokyo Marui rumours going around, but I'm not absolutely sure if there's anything particularly interesting. But other than that, there's not a lot going on. But we'll just wait and see. Now, I've noticed Norwich has got his SSG 96 out at the moment. And I was wondering who makes that for him, because I know a lot of people are going to be saying to me, we can make one cheaper. So if you guys want to know about that, then please give me a shout and let me know, because it would be fun to see if we could make our own version. And you know how much I like messing with sniper rifles, so it's all good. But other than that, I can't play airsoft because we're in lockdown. I can't do much of it other than work, so that's pretty much all that's happening at the moment. But with any luck, Christmas is coming up, if it's not written off by COVID. So we'll just have to wait and see. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.